Welcome to the Research Methods class. The big question on your mind is how to get an A in this class. Well, here is the formula. Get busy on your project as soon as possible. You can even start before the semester begins. Contact me. We'll get you moving on your project. Anyone can get an A in this class, but most students don't because they run out of time. Your project can become an A-level project with enough work, with enough time. You have to meet with me regularly in order to move your project along, to tweak it, to make it better into an A project. Now, what happens if you do not submit any assignments during the first week of the course? You'll be dropped for non-attendance, but once you've submitted that assignment, you've met the minimum attendance requirements for this course, and I will not drop you. In order to earn an A, you need to get 900 points. You need 600 in order to pass, 700 for a C, 800 for a B, and 900 for an A. Now, we do not count the points from every assignment, only from your best according to the formula on the syllabus. You don't count points from assignments that you didn't do, or you didn't submit on time, or you did not do well on. For example, we don't count all of your quizzes. We only count your 10 best. And you can only count those items that add up to a potential of 1,000 possible points, and no more. Now, don't trust the point total given on Canvas. It's not using the formula that we give you on the syllabus. You can avoid being an F student by avoiding the behavior of F students. They delay on one or more of the key steps of the project. You have to keep moving on your project to make it an A project. If you cheat on an exam or a quiz, you get an F for the entire course. But there's no need to cheat on the quizzes or the tests because I give you the answers in the terms list, and the tests are open note, open book. Just don't use a chat bot. Don't ask another student. There's no opportunities for extra credit. We don't count late assignments. We don't count unidentified assignments. And if you stop participating in this class, well, unless you've earned 600 points, you're going to get an F, because I'm not going to drop you after you've met the minimum qualifications. Let's talk about due dates. You can find the due dates for the projects and all of the little steps of the projects, the quizzes, the exams on the syllabus, and it's also on Canvas. Remember, the projects have individual steps, multiple deadlines that must be met in order to have a successful project. Most of the students take the multiple choice version of the quizzes and exams. Those are available on Canvas. You have to log on to Canvas. But if you have technical difficulties, or if you do poorly on the Canvas multiple choice version, you can do an email version. Now, the final exam is what most students do to help them get an A. But if you want to avoid the final exam, you can. Some students complete 2 projects and do well on both of them and earn their 900 points in that way. And they don't have to do the final exam. Most A students will do a final exam, do well on one project, and get their A in that way. Now, let's talk about doing a good job on your projects. Don't try to do heavy, important writing on your cell phone. Use a computer keyboard. For example, punctuation is important. Only use apostrophes to form contractions or possessives. Don't use it for plurals. Only use pronouns, especially they, them, their, when it is very clear which noun is being referred to. Avoid certain phrasings, such as, I feel that. Only use the term feeling to describe moods, such as happy or sad, or sensory sensations like cold or hot. And completely avoid the phrasing, in my opinion. Don't even use the word opinion. And don't use other techniques such as rhetorical questions to make your point. Avoid vague terms like issues, maturity, mentality, accurate. Don't say positive when you mean good or favorable, or negative when you mean bad or unfavorable. We're going to use words like positive and negative to describe direct or inverse correlations, or positive or negative reinforcement. Remember the email rules. Send your email to me at my email addresses from your email addresses. Don't try sending email through Canvas. Send from your email addresses and look for the reply on the address from which you sent me the message. You should give me at least 2 email addresses, your school email address and at least one other backup email address. You should check your email daily. I'm going to give you 3 email addresses for me. Ideally, if you have something to say to me, like a question, you should send it to all 3, just in case the SBCCD email falters, which it has been known to do. So here are my 2 other educational email addresses, one at the University of Chicago and one at the Institute for Clinical Social Work. Now, when you send your email, put your name and your section at the top of the message area, not at the bottom and not in the subject line, and certainly not in an attached file, only at the top of the message area. Do not attach any files. So if you are pasting in a quiz or an exam, just paste it into the message area. Do not attach the file. If you have a question about a quiz that is due tomorrow, the one word you should put in the subject line of the email is question, not quiz. And if you have a question about an exam that's due tomorrow, put the word question into the subject line. If you send an email with the word exam in the subject line, I will only respond to it after the deadline for receiving the exam. And similarly, if you send me an email about a quiz and put the word quiz in the subject line, I won't even read it until after the quiz is due. That's too late. But if you send an email with the one word question in the subject line, I will respond as soon as I read your email and send an answer. Now, email is important, but that's not how we submit your projects. Your projects will be submitted on a Google document that I will create for you. Getting a project write-up completed is the one unavoidable requirement for this class. You might also want to do an oral presentation or a poster presentation. That is not required. The write-up is required. The final exam is not required if you complete the write-ups of 2 different projects. Most A students do one project and the final exam. That's what you need to know for the research methods class.